Hello and welcome to the Distro Hopper, and today's episode, Distro Hopper and the Steel Wings of Garuda. We are going to start with an install of one of my favorite Linux distributions, gaming based on Arch Linux. We have Garuda, and at the start you'll see it looks quite a bit different from any other thing you've seen so far. They have their own little theme going on with some interesting design choices. I will take this video to be a little bit more informative on how to set KDE up for your personal preferences. So this will be a little bit more of a deep dive, and I will tell you this much: Garuda is one of the, or probably the Linux distribution that I've actually used the most extensively, because it is absolutely fantastic. With that in mind, let's start off with the installation. Like normally, you'd boot up into the installation medium, click on the installation there. I'm once again connected to the internet with a Ethernet cable. It'll quickly go up. We'll switch this over to British English, to Europe, as that's where I'm living. And for anybody wondering, I'm actually not an Austrian. I'm not even European for that matter. But we'll maybe get into that later. That's not important now. What's important is that you set up this all to your own preferences. We'll erase the disk again, and I will put in my details quick. For now, that'll do. I will also quickly discuss this here. If you uncheck this, which is what I personally do, so that I don't have to put in a password every time, unclick that, set your password. Once again, I guess you'll never know that my password is Hopper. Good. And we'll not use the same password for the administrator then for the install. Click, there we go. And let's go. Good, so we're all done there. Let's restart the system and get this train going. Right, so we're back, and it'll immediately ask you for your password. You will need to just press enter, and I'll show you how to get rid of that screen over there as well. We'll wait for it to quickly sort itself out. It'll give you a welcome to Garuda Linux screen. We will click on OK. It'll start off with the update. It is very important that you do this on this one specifically, since it'll sort out your PC and a lot of the problems that you might get. So we'll proceed with the installation. Press enter. Good, so we're going to press enter to exit, and we'll install the proprietary drivers for stuff like your NVIDIA. This laptop has got an NVIDIA graphics card. So the thing about Garuda is there are 3 or 4 different variants just in the KDE space. You've got the Dragonized edition, which is the one I'm uploading now. You've got the lighter weight version, and then you got the gaming edition. I've gone the sweet middle ground, even though I personally go for the KDE Lite. The difference there is that the KDE Lite is absolutely stripped down. The Dragonized edition is a little bit more bloaty, but it finds a good middle ground. And in the gaming edition, they went balls to the wall, all out. You have emulators, gaming platforms, you have a whole slew of different things, and you can still load those afterwards. That is pretty easy. I'll show how that's done. But I think if we're going to move away from bloaty Windows, it's not really worth moving to another bloaty operating system. But like I'll always say, that's your choice, dude. You do what you want, not what I want. The one thing to say about Garuda Linux is that if you're thinking of the cutting edge, then this distribution is pretty much the tip of the spear. What I mean by the tip of the spear is that every new update that comes out is pretty much immediately activated on Garuda. That does mean that when stuff goes a little bit sideways, it might break a little. I'll show you some quick easy fixes to sort out the biggest problems. When I say break, it's not really the right word. It's more that your settings get changed. That's pretty much it. Good, so press enter to exit, and we'll start off with a quick things that are quite important. You will be able to go through here for your operating systems, your software centers, and all that. We will go to the software centers because that's kind of important. We do have Octopi. This down at the bottom there is a very good way of installing AUR packages. The quick description is that AUR is the Arch specific repository. It's a little bit more complicated than I like to do. It's also a little bit more complicated than new users are reasonably able to figure out, but that's a good little system, the Octopi one. So we'll do that one. I don't know why it's asking you to install it, because it is already installed as a baseline. The one which we are going to go for is the Discover. It's quite important that you put this one in. I will also add that the Flatpak you can install afterwards. I will put a link in the description if you forget to click this one, how to do that through the terminal. The other ones I'm gonna leave out for now. That's enough for me, for this at least. Press enter or yes, and it'll quickly set that up for you. Press enter to return to the assistant, and very good. And as you can see, this is now Garuda. It is quite an interesting operating system or desktop environment. I'm not sure that I like it. You can have the icons and stuff, but I'm gonna take this time to go back to what I like, and maybe that also shows you how to change the things that you would like on your own system. So we'll close this down for now. You'll see that the red X is on the opposite side as you're used to, and probably, but definitely the opposite side as you'll find on programs like Steam. Also, before we close this down, we are going to install Steam through the gaming apps. We'll put Steam down. I'm not going to do any of the other ones for this install for now, at least. Go to pending operations and apply them. Run now, and it should do that quickly. You don't need to put anything in there just yet. Good, that's done. Click on X. Click on the red X on the opposite side, and that goes away. And we're gonna quickly take this chance to unGaruda Garuda, after which I'll install OBS so I can clean up my video a little bit. And then yeah, we'll get into Elite Dangerous. So to start off with, go to your system settings. You'll see that this is very familiar. This is your usual KDE settings. First off, I prefer that if you click on a file, it just selects them, double click to open like on Windows. Secondary, we're going to go to our keyboard settings, and you can set up your key bindings like I always do. The caps lock behavior is disabled. That's one of 2 or 3 settings that I personally use, but I'm just going to, for this video, do the one. Then we're going down to display and monitor, and that multi-desktop thing I'm going to remove as well. I do not like that because it always happens by accident. Good. After that, we're going to go colors and themes. And this is where it becomes interesting. If you've got any problems where your settings get thrown out of whack, go on that one or the one you prefer. Left click the desktop and window layout, apply that, and it'll throw the entire system into that theme, which also normally sorts out quite a few of the problems. While we're here, we're going to go to the login screen, SDDM, and remove that prompt to log in as a user when you start up the system. And lastly, we're going to un-Garuda this part here, where we're going to be in the colors and themes again. Go to the Windows decorations on the top right there. You can configure the title bar buttons, and all you do is click and drag, and you can set this up exactly as you want. Like I am maybe traditionalist, I like it more in the style of Windows. Apply, and that's done. Then lastly, we're going to go to Discover and download OBS. Install that quickly, and then I'll restart the system and show the launch of the game. Okay, and we're back 2 days later as I've got a limited supply of quiet house, if you can call that a thing. Good. We will also start with something that I realized I haven't set yet on the previous run through the settings, which is that there's a countdown before your system comes into effect, as in there's a countdown before your system shuts down, and that can be quite annoying. You can actually set that when you go into the settings, head down to session. Oh, my mouse is hanging a bit, and then you just click on this. Don't ask for confirmation, and when you do that again, it's not going to ask you or give you 25 seconds to decide what to do. It's just going to do it. You can pretty much set anything as you want because it's your PC, bro. That's what I love about it. It's your PC. So we'll start off with Steam. See if I can log into that. And we're off to the races. So Elite Dangerous is 50 gigabytes big. I'm not going to download that now. I'm going to actually show you how to set up your drives, because that is a little bit of a problem, or rather a characteristic of Linux which I'm not necessarily a fan of, is that your hard drives are not automatically mounted. It's a security thing or whatever, but they're not mounted, and that is something you would need to do yourself. So before we can get into Elite Dangerous, we have one more thing to set up, and that is unfortunately the hard drives. The problem with the game is it's 50 gigabytes big, and I'm not going to download that now. I have a secondary hard drive in this machine, which I just need to mount. But the problem is you will need to set it up to auto mount, and this gets a little bit finicky, so we'll get to that quickly. To start off with, we are going to right click on that, reformat with or edit with partition manager. The KDE partition manager is pretty good. If it's not pre-installed with your version of KDE, then you can get that through the normal app store. Just type in KDE partition manager, and that gives you the controls over the hard drives that you've got. You can format and so forth with that. The problem is you're going to need to go right click and unmount it for now. Right click and edit mount point. And a valid path is required. And this is where we're going to get a little bit into the layout of your file system on Linux. If I go now back to the Dolphin, the Explorer alternative we've got, or analog if you want to call it that, you'll see that you've got your home. You don't have a drive C, D, E, or however. You've got your home, but unfortunately this home is actually not the root of your file system. The root is actually underneath there, and if you click on that, you get a whole bunch of different folders. I'll put a link into the description for a good explanation video of how it actually works. For us, the one that we're interested in is the mount one, MNT. We're going to open that up, just right click, go to the terminal, and then type in the following: sudo, which is super user do. It basically gives you elevated privileges because everything in that folder is secure. So you will need to elevate your privileges. Then we're going to say make directory, and then name the directory as in /mount. That's where we're going to put it, and we're going to put in there HDD. And this is also what we're going to put in the path. So if you now close this down, you'll see that this folder has been created. Yes, you need special privileges to put a new folder into sensitive parts into your PC. We could have expected that one. Anyway, so we'll put that in there as in MNT, and then write it exactly as you did previously, HDD, and boom, you should be good. Save the changes, and we can close this down. Now what we've actually done now is we have made it so this drive will now automatically mount. It's still unmounted, that's what the orange on that means, so we're just going to mount it quickly. And you'll see Steam is already, well, the files for Elite Dangerous is already installed. We'll go to Steam settings, storage, click on the top there, add a drive, let me choose another location, and then close this down, go to mount, HDD, Steam, and select OK. And immediately when you go to the local drive, you'll see there is the game that we want to play, Elite Dangerous. You'll also see as soon as I start that, it will start downloading or verifying the files. So you'll see it recognizes my desktop PC, the one that I use for gaming, the one that I don't actually format that often, and it's just transferring the files quickly over from that one. This is now the Steam Linux Runtime 3.0 Sniper. For Elite Dangerous, you need to have a Frontier account. I will cut a little bit out of this because I don't want you seeing my name there. I'll just log in. And we're off. It'll not look the best because this piece is running on the limit here, and I've also got OBS running, so yeah, it's one of those things. Good, and we got the steel wings of Garuda. I do like this game. Elite Dangerous is pretty awesome. I've kind of overplayed it because you end up just grinding quite a lot, but it's part of the universe. There's a reason for it. However, there's also a reason why I specifically took this one, even though it doesn't work that well on this machine. I think I might have mentioned it earlier, but there's a little bit of sleight of hand going on. There is something I've done, or something that's gonna be relevant in a couple of seconds. And as you can see, it doesn't even just pick up my Thrustmaster Warthog, but generally, as it goes in... Oh, what's it doing now? It really wants to play with my Steam. Anyway, sorry about that. That's staying in the video. It doesn't just pick up my Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS, but as it goes generally on Linux, you don't have to worry about drivers. I've obviously not been on Windows for a while now, so I can't really speak to the fact whether or not you have to go on the internet and go look up the driver for your joystick and then download it and install it and all that BS. But that's kind of not a thing in Linux. You just stick it in and it works. It's very, very seldom that you find something that doesn't work straight off the bat. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going back to the game. Oh. Oh, well, that one hung, so I had to redo that. I definitely should curb my enthusiasm on this machine. It does not like being loaded this hard. What I will also probably do in the future is do some gameplay videos just to show off different games and how they run on my primary system, just so the quality is pretty much also a factor in these videos or on this channel itself. But regardless, yeah, let's gun this up. I'll probably not play too long because the keys aren't set and I will probably end up embarrassing myself by clicking around randomly. That's actually what happened on the Pico video. And there we go. So we're out in space. Gonna just maybe bring this out back to the station. You'll see the station down at the bottom there on the left hand side. I don't actually have my rudder pedals plugged in at the minute because I didn't have enough USB slots for everything in here. This where I'm sitting now looks a bit like a crow's nest. It's pretty fun doing video recording, stuff like that. And yeah, I need my back key. It's not set, so this is a bit embarrassing, I suppose. Oh. But yeah, anyway, let's get this thing landed. See if I can land it without the pedals. Should be fun. But regardless of that, I'll probably leave it at that after this. So let's see, coming up to number 7, lucky number 7. And Bob's your uncle. and thank you for watching. Have a great day.